Okay, everyone, so welcome back again. We are going to finalize part two of the sunflower. So I hope you're enjoying to create it. I know it can be a little bit, stressing because there's a lot of, little leaves to it, but it's worth it at the end. So I'm on my last petal. And so I finished doing my last slip stitch with one chain, and I'm just going to come and close it up on my last flower here. Is it my last? Or at least I was hoping it was my last. No, I still have one more to go. Okay, so I still have one more to go. I thought it was my last. No problem. So again, you would just pretty much continue the same thing. Do your one chain and come and do your, count your next petal 6. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 between the 6 and the 7. I'm going to close it in, and I don't want it too loose, so we have to tighten that stitch up. And then do your 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then we want to continue to do our single, our half, our double crochet, and the next 4 spaces will be 2 together, 2 double crochets together in the same space. Okay. So I'll meet you at the end of it. Okay, now we are at the end of it. So basically you'd come on your first one that we did. You do your one chain, you'd come on your first one, and you would close it in with slip stitch. Now, we're going to do the same thing like we did on the first petals. We're going to do the edging. So we're going to go into the first, let me just move this out of the way so you can see. We're going to go into the first space here. And we're going to do a slip stitch, one chain, next space, slip stitch, one chain, slip stitch. I know it gets a little bit hectic because there's so many little petals now. One chain, slip stitch. So we're doing this all the way around to all of the petals like we did on the first one. Gives it that nice little effect, and it's also going to bend the flower to look more natural, instead of being just so straight and stiff. By the way, I am trying a new app again. So this recording is already going on the new app. Hopefully it's going to work out, because the other app that I was using was taking all the memory. After like a half an hour of recording, it wouldn't allow me to do my editing and to upload it. So that wasn't good at all. Too much work for editing, and then to create 3-4 videos on just one small pattern, it's like really ridiculous. So I deleted the other app. Now I'm trying this one. Like, I'm trying the best I can to make it best for everybody, because I put myself on you guys' shoes and trying to learn something, and I can't see clearly. I would be frustrated, which is very, very understandable. So anyway, people, you know what I'm saying. You have to do one chain, and slip stitch, one chain and slip stitch. So you have to come all the way to the edge. I know it can get a little bit complicated here, but just keep turning your flower around, work with it. Okay, come all the way to the edge of the flower, okay? And then grab the next one. Make sure you have it facing the proper way. You don't want to have it facing backwards. And then you'd come in on the next one right away. Good heavens, what's going on here? You want to make sure also that you are on the very, very first stitch, because then it's going to pull too much on your pattern, okay? And you don't want to make it too loose, because then it, whoops, I have to do one chain. It's not going to look pretty if you make it too loose. Okay, so one chain, slip stitch, one chain, slip stitch. We're going to do this all the way around, and then you can cut your thread. And then we're going to proceed with the green leaves. Very simple. I had left the link on the first, the description box on the first video of this tutorial, so you guys can have an idea how it is created. Very simple. And we're only going to attach on the pattern on the fifth row, as we're creating the fifth row. Okay, so nothing to it. So you jump from one petal to the next. And that's how it's going to go. Of course, look, I mean, it looks all crumpled up in here and everything, right? I mean, poor thing, you know. But once you get it together and squeeze it in like that, it all becomes back to normal. Okay, so this does it to show you this one, because the other ones are pretty much the same thing, just, you know, as you can see here. Trying to fix these paddles. You can't fix them now because you still have to work them quite a bit, you know, but they look really really pretty. Where am I at? I'm looking for where am I at? Oh, I'm down here. Good God. So many loose paddles right now, so you see how it looks. Of course, we still have to work the other ones, you know. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, I pretty much finished. It looks not so nice because it's all until you get it into the pattern, and well, until you get into the green leaves. Now, what I do is I hot gun glue. I'll show you afterwards the leaves so they can straighten out a bit, because if you look well, it looks all crumpled up from the back, right? Normally, for some, I don't mind it this way because I glue my stuff. But when you're doing, you know, from one petal to the next to create it, instead of doing a one chain, you can do 2 or 3 if you'd like this to be more loose. If you're not the type to glue your stuff and you want this to be loosened up, so you see it's quite tight because it's only one chain that I did, right? So you can do 2, 3 chains from one petal to the other. But because I'm gluing this into the pattern that I'm going to create, I didn't want it to be too loosened up because it's big enough already with the green leaves, okay? But that's just me. You can loosen it up if you like. Okay, so we are doing the green. So if you did your green, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the last row. So when I count 5 is these little groups, let's say here. And only one side because the other side is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I still need to create it. Now I get here to the middle. I need to add this to my pattern. So I need to go back to, you want this little nerve up at your pattern. You don't want the flat side. Flat side, you could almost fit your finger in this way. You want this up because you want that effect of the leaf. So I'm going to do chain 2 on here. I'm going to grab right in between the leaves, the first chain there, and 2 chain again. I'm coming back to the middle of my green leaf, and I'm going to finish it up. This one is only added this way because it's the first one putting in. So we're grabbing back loops only. We're continuing to do the back loop. And then we cut our thread. It's only on the next one that we start adding the sides, obviously. And you always leave 2 not done. 1 chain. I'm going to turn around and I'm just going to close it in here on the first stitch with the slip stitch and 1 more slip stitch. I like to tuck in loose ends right away so I don't have to come back any more to it. Once I'm done, I'm done. I don't like to come back to the pattern. I like to finish it completely as I go. So once you think it's secure enough, so I have my first leaf on there. So my first one is on here already. Of course, once it's all stretched out, then it will be nicely put like that. Okay, I'm going to create the other one, and on my 5th row we're going to start adding like here. We have to count from the top to here 6 stitches, and we're going to add them together as we're creating the last row on the leaf. Okay, so we're ready to add on, and as you can see, I've created my leaf. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going on my 5th one. So I did 1 chain. I'm coming, actually I'm going to close it off here. Almost forgot. I'm going to grab, afterward, don't forget we're only grabbing back loops on this, right? So you want to make sure you got your petal right. So you're grabbing the first loop on this one, okay? And you're grabbing the last loop on this one, first loop on this one, okay? And you're doing your single. So that's 1 space. We're doing up until 6. Back loop, front loop, okay? So that's 2. Back loop on this one, front loop on this one. That's 3. Back loop, front loop, that's 4. Back loop, front loop, that's 5. Back loop and front loop, that's 6. So we've attached it in 6 places. And now we're going to continue on doing back loops only until the middle, because then we need to attach the middle. And it's as simple as that to attach these leaves together. You come to the end of your leaf, your last one, you're going to attach it the same way as we just did here on the last leaf, right? So you come to the middle, you do 1, 2 chain. You come to the middle of the next petal, right? Which is this one here, right next to it. Two chain. Come back into your leaf. Very simple, nothing to it. So back to the middle, close it in with single, and you come back to your back loops and continue to finish doing your last row. I hope this app can support more of the recording than the other app that was just really frustrating me. So you come until the before last. Actually, no, here you stay 2 out. What am I talking about? So you leave 2 out, you do 1 chain, and you always have to leave 2 out. You come here and you close it up with slip and another slip. Cut your thread, and you're pretty much done with the adding the leaves on there. So, of course, once it's all straightened out, it will look much nicer. Now it looks like poor thing went to war, right? Like that. And I like the fact that they don't stay too stiff together, because then it wouldn't look as natural. I like it that it's a little bit crumpled up. Okay, so this is about it for the adding of the leaves. Turn it this way so you can see better. So you keep adding now the same thing. So it has 8 leaves all the way around. You get to the end, so you would add one side, and then you'd add, you start counting from here, because you don't count to the corner, you skip that. So you grab, so the other leaf, you grab the back loop, and on this one, when you're putting like both together, right, you're going to put both together, and you can see clearly the loops. So you don't do this one here. You would grab this back loop and this front loop, and you do your single. So you grab this back loop and this front loop, and you do your single. So you do that 6 times, and that's it, and you have them all closed in. Okay, now we're going to go to the other step of the how I glue them on, hot glue them on. Okay, so I wanted to show you the back part of the one that's finalized. It's the same thing. So I did one chain only, so they're very crumpled up. It's just that I really have been stretching, and they came out more steady once you add the green leaves on. But if it's extremely tight for you, do 2, 3 chains in between the leaves, okay? The petals, I should say. Okay, so I have hot gun glue, and of course you're not going to do in the middle that it's open, but you would stretch a little bit, not too much. You put just enough just to have it stick on there. a little tiny bit. We don't want to over possess it with glue either. Just a little bit of hot glue. It's going to hold pretty much everything tight together, and it's not going to move anywhere. So again, you would start by the outside one because this is where you need to stretch it more. And then you tried stretching the first petal on there. Now, like I said, I don't want them too straight, so I leave them curved a bit as they are naturally. Just gonna put a little bit more here on the edge because I like the edge to be really stuck onto the pattern. A little bit here because we don't want this to be coming out anywhere like that. Like to leave it curled up. I'm going to add a little bit more here to the edge. Like that. I like to leave it curved. I don't want a straight paddle. If I wanted a straight paddle, I would have done 3-4 chains between separations. I wanted to give it a nice little effect. You know, some people might say, oh, but the paddles are not straight. I don't want them straight. If I wanted it straight, I would have known how to put them straight. You know. That's the whole idea. I like to create things different than everybody else, right? Some people might create these paddles straight and whatever, whatnot. People can do whatever they like to their patterns, right? So you don't want to over pour because you don't want the glue to be coming, you know, on the other side of the pattern, of course. You just put it along the edge like that. Just like that. Stretch a bit of the leaves to get it to go into place. See, like this one, it's got a nice little curve. So we'll just leave that little curve. Just gonna add a little bit here and stay in place. And nothing to it, right? See this poor little one, she's all hidden in there, so we're going to stretch her out a bit. And I'm going to put her right here in between both the leaves there. I'm going to give it a little bit more support here on this one so she can take that support from the other leaf. Else pulls too much on it. You know, and you see where you want to add a little bit more so it can stay stuck to the pattern. I want to make sure that Nothing's going to come apart. So you don't put tons of glue. You put a little bit here and there. You know, you don't want to overflow your pattern with glue either. Compress a bit on it. Put a little bit more here. Compress a bit. And you can put a bit where the brown is just to have it intact a little bit more. So you don't want the brown to be lifting. Just put a little bit here and there. And just push it down. Only on the edge, of course. You're not going to be doing the glue on here. You want this to be poofing up. So you just want to glue a little bit of the brown here just so we can, not too much though, just a bit here and there. Just so it can stay steady. And there you go. That's enough glue. That's enough of everything. And now you have your beautiful sunflower ready to be ready to go into whatever pattern you're creating in the center of the pattern or the edge, or a pillow decoration. You can glue this on your sofa pillow or your bed pillow, you know, for decoration pillows. Perfect for you. You can create this and put on your pillows. You can make it smaller size with a smaller thread, thinner thread, like Aunt Lydia number 10. And you can create on the small little pills with the colors of your desire that matches your living room. It's perfect for that. Or you can create bigger just for one big pillow on a lazy boy chair, lazy chair, right? Or a love seat, something like that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope that you are gonna look forward to the table runner that I'm creating. No, that I'm going to create. I'm not creating yet. I have 2 ideas. I'm not sure which one I want first. So, and if you do, well, then stay tuned for the table runners so you can create it and probably match, you know, your pillows on your living room with a dining room table runner. So thank you so much, everybody, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Any questions, please feel free and follow me on Instagram also. Thank you, everyone, and take care. Bye-bye.